Yes, we're getting
Okay,
into our review section
so
now,
now
people.
we are into our the disaster artist review. Take two, basically.
Review.
Yes.
Yes.
Uh,
Shoot 50, shoot day 52 of 40.
yeah, we shot our absolute worst video um,
Yeah,
to talk about the making of the worst movie.
we should have left it up as somewhat of a meta joke. The disaster artist review is a complete disaster.
Oh, I wish I was that clever. Yeah.
You can still do it.
True.
You can still do it.
Oh man. Anyways, you want to summarize real quick the disaster artist for people that?
Yeah, yeah. For those who hadn't seen the movie or heard the story, it's a story. It's based on the book "The Disaster Artist," written by Greg Sestero about his time with Tommy Wiseau before, during, and after filming The Room. It's a very in unique story from beginning, middle, and end of how he was a struggling actor, met him in a acting class, and then how he was so caught up in how open Tommy was about everything he did, and then he just became friends with him, and they decided that we are going to push each other to everything they do, until eventually they decided to make their own movie, and then wound up making The Room.
That's very good.
Yeah. One
So,
thing I can't do is concise a plot pretty well.
yeah. All right. Well, anyways, my favorite parts of this movie were the um, was probably just James Franco's performance. I think was probably my absolute favorite part because he's my the favorite actor performance of 2017 that I've seen so far.
Yeah, he was a really good performance. It was really well done. There were moments where I wasn't sure did him and Tommy tag out.
Right.
There were moments I was not sure did James Franco say, you know what, I can't film today. Tommy, you're in. And it went flawlessly because that's how well he became Tommy. What's up?
And the way that they were able to balance emotion in this movie, from the comedic parts to some of the dramatic parts to some of the uh,
And they interwove those moments so well. Like in one moment it'd be comedic, and then later on in the movie, when they do the same thing again, it's dramatic, but it doesn't feel forced.
right,
It actually feels like when certain characters are talking behind Tommy's back and he can't hear it yet, it's funny. But then when you find out he did hear it, it's like,
right,
oh, we're just as much as a bad person as they were for making the comment as we were for laughing at it behind his back.
right. And the motivation that led up to them creating the room was really awesome.
Yes, yes, it
uh,
was.
all the I don't want to. I guess I shouldn't go away too much of the plot there, but the downs, the rejection, and stuff that leads up to them wanting to actually do something
Yeah, it was very well
to
put.
make.
The story was very well told to us in a way where we understood why they made these choices.
Right.
It didn't. No one felt like it didn't feel like, well, that was dumb. Why didn't you just do this? No, it was like they made these choices because these were the choices they had to make.
Yeah. And the chemistry, or the oh, no, I guess you can call it chemistry between Dave Franco's Greg and James Franco's Tommy was pretty interesting. The way
Yeah,
their relationship worked out, you
yeah,
believed
it
it.
really. Yeah, you believe today how someone this eccentric can meet up with this person and still somehow become friends
Right.
and actually care about each other very much. It didn't feel that aspect of the story never felt unbelievable, and that was, and I think that's the trick to this story. Like, how does this enigmatic personality meet up with this normal dude from California and they become friends?
Right.
And then the story tells you, oh, this is how, and you go, yeah, that makes sense.
And I love how this is a biopic about. I mean, that has Tommy Wiseau in there, but yet we don't have any of the major questions about his
Yeah,
private
it's a
life answered in
biopic
this movie.
that left you like, well, where's he from?
Yes, you don't
Where did
know.
he get the money? It's like it's a biopic that answered none of the standard biopic questions.
Right.
Even at the end, it's like we still don't know.
Yes.
But it's like the ride was fun, right? And you go, you know what? That ride was pretty fun.
Yes. And I mean the like back to the relationship part between the two of them, how they established at the very beginning of the movie how reserved and nervous Greg's character is, and he
Yeah,
just
James
wants to
Blake's
be
character is
as
well.
brave and open as Tommy's character is,
Yes.
which is interesting. And I like how they established how reserved to his private life Tommy is, even
Yes.
to anybody, even to his closest friends. They didn't know anything about his private
About
life to him.
anything.
You can live with the guy and still not know anything, know those
Yeah, you
answers.
live with the guy in one of his two apartments. Yeah, he has two apartments and not know anything about him.
You're right. So yeah, that was an I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I think I said the negative parts about this movie was not even really a negative. It's just that it was a very different way of telling the story. How it's more feel it's a biopic, but it's also has a slight feel of a documentary.
It's
Because
like a
the way,
mockumentary biopic kind of.
right?
Like
Yeah,
there's moments where like if they would have added like diary room moments, it wouldn't have felt out of place kind of thing.
yeah. That's exactly what I was gonna say. It felt like an in between those two things, between a documentary
Yeah.
style film and a biopic film,
Mm-hmm.
um, which was an interesting way that Dave or James Franco chose to tell the story.
Yeah, when I first heard that he was making this movie, like images of like this is the end and
Right.
Pineapple Express popped in my head, like this is gonna be just this full on comedy. But I wasn't expecting a dramatic performance like this.
Because
I wasn't
this
expecting
at the end had a similar direct the way that I was shot almost like that.
yeah, it
So
was like when you first heard about this is the end, you're like, okay, this is gonna be just a movie about the raunchous destruction at the end of the world and how do these four dudes deal with it. But then as you watch the movie, you go, no, this is about friendships and how like some people mature and some people don't. But then you try to find this middle ground between all of that, and then see how y'all still remain friends and all this. I'm like, all of this in an end of the world comedy? What?
right, but my favorite. Besides the movie, I like some of the behind the scenes stuff with this movie.
Mm-hmm.
About how James Franco seems to have developed the same kind of relationship with Tommy Wiseau that Greg did all those years ago.
Yes, yes. It's like James Franco's the new Greg Sestero. It's gonna be another book written years down the road.
Yes, the making of the disaster artist.
Yes,
But
the disaster artist too. The disaster artist thing reloaded.
right. Well, one thing has been seems to be shaping out that I had predicted a few episodes ago. I said if James Franco gets nominated for an Oscar or even wins the Oscar, I said he's going to probably to bring Tommy Wiseau up on stage with him. And
Yeah.
so far, the Golden Globes have just been announced, and it's looking. And James Franco said he's taking Tommy Wiseau with him to the Golden Globes. So should he win,
It would it would not be fair if he didn't. It wouldn't be
right?
fair if he didn't.
But
You bring him up making a story about his life, and you don't bring him. That's gonna be some douchey stuff.
yes. So anyways, I think we can go ahead and give our ratings for this one. I don't even remember what I gave it the other day. I believe I gave it a 9.5 out of 10, and I feel
Yeah, we both gave it nines and a half,
yeah,
and I'm still
so
feeling that.
still feel the same way about it too. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
this is definitely a movie I'm going to own when it comes out on Blu-ray,
Hmm.
and I probably
And
would like to even see it again in the theater because it was really fun. Just like I hear The Room is really fun to watch with a group of people. This one was
uh,
really fun with a theater full of people when we watched it.
who released this movie? Warner Brothers.
A24.
A24. A24, listen to me. I want a 3-disc Blu-ray set. On this 3-disc Blu-ray set, I want The Disaster Artist. I want The Room, directed by Tommy Wiseau. And I want an entire Room remake done by the Disaster Artist cast, all in one box.
One box set.
Make that happen, A24.
I believe on January 10th or sometime in January they are going to have I think a 1 day release of The Room in theaters, probably at AMC. I think that might be the only one around here that we'd be able to go see it at. But
let me look into that. AMC theaters, The Room. Because if that's happening, we are both going.
yes.
We're going.
But anyways, let's see here. What are you looking it up on? Just Google.
I'm Googling it now, and then let's see. It's a riff. It looks like it might be a Riff Tracks event.
Oh, I don't know. Release date 2018. That's what I'm going to look it up. January 25th.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's going to be at AMC, but that's the only one around here that we'd be able to see it at.
We go to the Fathom events page because I definitely want to go check out The Room, and that looks like that's going to be awesome to watch in a group of people.
Right.
I want to experience that.
It'd be funny if it was like the same group of people that no, there's been other people that went and saw it, but it'd be funny if it was the same group of people we saw The Disaster Artist with.
That would be amazing. That would be really cool.
It was a good crowd that we saw with.
Yeah, we all laughed. Everybody understood all the jokes. No one felt like we didn't feel like we were alienating anybody for laughing at certain parts where other people didn't understand what was happening, kind of thing.
Right.